Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
City of Romulus regular council meeting for Monday, September 10th, 2018. The roll will show that we took the roll earlier this evening at the special meeting, and all council persons are present. Number 1 is agenda. Number 2, minutes. 3, petitioner. 4, chairperson's report. 5 is the mayor's report. 6A, clerk's report. 6B, treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9 is new business. 10, communication. 11 is warrant 18-17, and 12 is adjournment. And we will be amending the agenda to add an item under the mayor's report 5E. And that's in regards to FEMA grant.
So moved to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, agenda accepted.
2A is approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held September 4th, 2018.
So move for September the 4th, 2018.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting, which was held on September 4th, 2018. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
2B is approval of the minutes from the special meeting held Tuesday, September 4th, 2018. It was a closed session, attorney opinion.
So move for approval of the minutes from the special meeting held Tuesday, September 4th, the closed session.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley for approval of the minutes from the special meeting held was Tuesday, September 4th, for the closed session and for the attorney opinion. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
3A is petitioner, and we have a request for approval of an amendment to Plan Development Area Agreement, PDA 2018-001, Metro Airport Center, at 11100 Metro Airport Center.
Good evening, Don Peterson here on behalf of Who Works.
Could you speak up?
Sorry.
Yeah. It's
Sure,
kinda
Don
diagonal.
Peterson on behalf of the petitioner.
I'm Judy Laporte. I'm the property manager of Detroit Metro Airport Center.
And we're here, as was announced, for an amendment to our PDA. I want to, and I know I said this before the planning commission, but I believe it very firmly, and it's so rare that the cooperation we've received with Mr. Hitchcock and Ms. Mays has just been, we've met with them several times, and we're not looking to make any substantive changes. We're just, we love it in Romulus. I mean, we feel blessed to be here. And the purpose for the amendment is really just to make it more efficient and to make it so that fewer things are bogged down your calendar, and that Ms. Mays and Planning Department can go ahead and approve things without having to submit everything to you. And if you recall the initial PDA it's enforced now, it's a very thick document. And we've been able to really make it a lot fewer words, but at the same time, fewer words, but I think there's a lot more clarity in it. For example, there's 80 specific uses that are not permitted, that otherwise would be permitted. And so we're trying to, and we came to this agreement with Mr. Hitchcock, with the city attorney, and with the city planner. And the idea so that if somebody is thinking about moving into our property, which we like, of course, but they'll be able to see if things aren't permitted. If we don't want certain uses, they can look at the agreement, they can review it, and they say, well, we better look elsewhere. And so that's really, a lot of this is just to increase the efficiency, reduce the burden on you folks, and just try and make the whole process run smoother all the way around. Yeah. Do you have any questions, or?
Any questions from council?
I'd just like to make a comment, no question, but, you know, we appreciate you here in our community, and we appreciate you working with us, working with planning. We appreciate your management team, very cooperative. We work on everything from just helping direct business to where it fits, to emails about food trucks and other things that are going on in the area. So it's nice to have people that work with us and partner, and so you're very welcome, and thank you.
Ms. Williams?
You stated that you wanted to make it a little less troublesome for us as council members to not have to bring it before us. So what do you mean?
Well, when somebody wants to move in, if there's a redevelopment proposal, it would go directly to Ms. Mays or in the planning department, and they would be able to look at it and see whether it had to come before the city council. The existing PDA, it was far more detail oriented, and so small, what we don't consider our major issues would have to be resolved by you as opposed to being resolved by the planning department. So it's still, the city's gonna have to approve everything, so we're not skirting that. But the idea is that it would make it more efficient to get approval from the planning department and without having to come and burden you guys.
You're welcome. Mr. Wadsworth?
I think my question has been answered. We still have final approval on anything that goes over there.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, Ms. Talley?
And I just want to concur with the mayor. I read through this, you just seem like y'all just have it together. I was very impressed with the write-up, and just really kind of dotting your I's and crossing your T's, and just thank you, I appreciate that. So it was a really good read.
Any other comments?
If there's no other comments, Mr. Chairman, I'll move that the requested approval of the amendment to the plan development area agreement, PDA 2018-11-1 of Metro Airport Center at 11100 Metro Airport Center Drive.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe. This is for a request approval of amendment to Plan Development Area Agreement, PDA 2018-001. This is for the Metro Airport Center at 11100 Metro Airport Center. Discussion? Yes.
Through the chair, if I may,
Yes.
I don't have any discussion, but I do have a comment in regards to the information being given to the council. I have, and I'm sure my colleagues have, a very good working relationship with Carol Mays Planning. She's our planner, and we do receive information monthly on everything that is occurring in our city. So I have no problem, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Have another petitioner, 3B, is request approval of restated conditional rezoning agreement, EC 2015-005, D&G conditional rezoning at 11457 and 11651 Hannon Road.
Good evening, my name is Nino DiDomenico, representing D&G Building Company. So basically, in our conditional rezoning agreement with the city attorney, we had pretty much cleaned up the rezoning agreement to allow the lighter uses and not permit the heavier uses in the M2 district. So that's basically what we did in the new rezoning agreement.
Okay. Any comments? Council?
If there are no comments through the chair,
Okay, Ms.
I'd
Webb?
like to make that motion to approve the restated conditional rezoning agreement for PC 2013 through 005 or 2015-005 to D&G conditional rezoning at 11457/11651 Hannon Road.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mrs. Webb, supported by Mrs. Roscoe for a request approval of reinstated conditional rezoning agreement, PC 2015-005, D&G conditional rezoning at 11457 and 11651 Hannon Road. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
3C is another petitioner and requesting approval of restated conditional rezoning agreement RZ 2016-001 M&M Express Trucking at 27732 Ecorse Road.
Good evening. My name is Mohammed Hosseini, the operation managers of M&M Express Trucking. I'd like to thank each and every individual in the city of Romulus. They have been working with us, very cooperative and helpful. From the planning department, Ms. Mays, and the city attorney, Mr. Hitchcock, and the building department, water department. This rezoning was approved at a certain point of 2016. The rezoning condition was signed in February of 2017, but we got held up at the Wayne County to get the approval for the underground detention, the permits for underground detention, acceleration, deceleration for the gates, and water main, and other things, and we just got them done by July of 2018. And by that time, this rezoning got expired. So we'd like to renew it and start the work as we have the planning have been set by the city attorney and us.
Any comments from the council? Ms. Williams?
Yes, I was looking through the document and the complaints from the residents in that area. Have you addressed the complaints of the residents?
What complaints, ma'am? Can you tell me what are they so I can comment on them?
There are complaints of, one resident is complaining about the flooding of her garage, you know, the containers that's left on the property that's stacked.
Okay. First of all, as far as the flooding, we have nothing to do with that because their houses, I cannot help the fact of their houses is like 4 feet lower than our yard. Number one. Number two, when we start and do this project, it actually will help their property because we're gonna do underground detention. It will be at least 20 feet lower in ground, and we'll get all the flooding, suck all the water in the area into that sewer. So actually, this planning is gonna help all the neighbors around us. And instead, but we don't have to. We have nothing to do with the flooding. Number one. Number two, we do not have any containers parked in that yard. We have trailers, and we work with that trailer as we are a trucking company. They go in and out, and when they come home, they park for a day or two, and then leave out again. So we don't have any stock or storage. It's just a parking.
Okay. Any other comments from the council? No other comments?
No, it is. I just need to piggyback off Ms. Williams because there is resident complaints in here that stated that there are large containers that appear to have drain oil in them. There was a resident that said that there was a drainage issue a couple of years ago and the new site plan was going to remedy the flooding issue. So is that all covered? So these residents are not bothered by the property and what's going on it?
Have no bothered with the property whatsoever. And plus, like I stated, once we do this reconditioning, rezoning, we're gonna build an underground detention. We'll take all that away from our yard to the storms and all of the residents around us, all the neighbors.
And then my other concern is that it took a while. It was like a lot of delays in getting some of this stuff accomplished. And so I see that there are specific checklists and timeframes of things that need to be completed up until now, until next year. Are we gonna be on point to make sure each of these things are checked off
Yes, ma'am,
and
we're-
done?
we're all aware
Because
of
we don't need this to delay it again like it was before, because this seemed like it's kind of been a
But
bit of a
before
nuisance.
we cannot do any work because we were waiting for the Wayne County approval and permits. We cannot do any type of work until we get those permits. Now they're all done, they're all in place, we have, every single permit that we need. Once we get the city council approval for the air conditioning, we'll go to the building next day and pick up the permit for work and start doing the job.
Okay, and I just want to make sure the residents aren't affected, that they're okay during this process. And then the other thing too, just to add to your point, Wayne County said it was on you guys's, but that's fine. You said everything is clear right now, that's fine.
I mean, I
And so
can
we
show
move
you-
forward ahead. But my concern is that we don't have these delays that we had before, and that this project is hit these timeframes,
I can
one,
sh-
as outlined in this document.
I could show you the Wayne County permits and dates and you could tell. I mean, is it us or them,
Okay.
if you like?
No, we'll take your word for we're going from here.
Okay.
But just as long as we hit them timeframes,
Right.
we should be good to go. We shouldn't have any more delays going forward,
Should not
correct?
have any more delays once we get the building department, permit, and then we got everything scheduled between us and the city attorney, and we're gonna start working and doing every single project on timely manner.
Thank you.
John?
Thank you. Ms. Abdo?
Yes, I was wondering if Ms. Mays can address the concerns of the residents. If you have spoken with these residents, if this has been solved, because there were quite a few complaints in here.
It was.
Mary?
Yeah, last month I was unfortunately sick and I couldn't be here to represent the company. The company sent somebody have no knowledge of the project and doesn't have any documentation to support what they complain about.
Yeah, I'd like Ms. Mays to speak to the parent.
Carol, can you speak to the planning part of it? And I know part of
And
it was
to
Bob
the-
McCrate was involved in it also.
To the resident complaints. Are
Yeah.
they legit? Have they been dealt with? Is this gonna solve the problem?
It did come up at the public hearing at the planning commission level. Bob was there. Bob was supposed to come tonight. He apologizes. He had a last minute issue.
Okay.
He's been out there, checked things out, is very comfortable now that all the permits are in order. He still needs to get the bond. There's one loose item that we're pretty assured that's gonna come in. And the whole goal is to get this project started. The site is a mess. If any of you got over to look at it, the neighbors are here, they can attest to it. It is a mess, and we really want to get this thing going. And this agreement is what we need done, but we are watching it very, very closely. So,
I still have a question for Ms. Mays. I said,
Well, you have to at least come up to the mic to speak, so we
I
hear you.
just want to comment on that bond thing. We were in a meeting last week and I had the check in my file. Bob says he's not gonna collect it until he get the city approval. And then we'll go next day to the building department and he'll take the cashier check, which I have it here, if anybody want to see it.
my question, I still have-
Mr. Wadsworth, you had something? And then,
Wait till Mrs. Abdul's done there, is she not?
you done?
Carol, I'm just wondering, he says that the flooding is not gonna be an issue once this gets started. Can you attest to that? Is that?
the city engineer has said the same thing. They've got some berming and some stuff to do once the water goes underground and the pipe's underground. And there's gonna be a 50-foot border all the way around. In that, once they get in there and start grading, it will take care of the grading
that'll
issue. If
solve the
not,
one
they'll be in
neighbor's complaint.
violation, because the grading plan does show it all matching, so.
All right. I'm done.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Ms. Abdo. Mr. Wadsworth?
Well, thank you, Mr. Burton. Carol, the problem that I'm having is, what if these things that don't work and these folks are still gonna be flooded out? Is there a secondary plan to help them? I mean,
There is. Once the agreement gets signed and he pulls his permits, he can start construction as soon as possible. As you see from the dates in there, it's mostly this fall. He's got stuff to do this fall. The building department, the engineers will be out inspecting all the time. If it doesn't get constructed according to plan, they'll be in violation and there'll be tickets issued. So
And
the
they would
normal
they would
course-
stop work on the
course.
project if it
Right,
doesn't.
right. Normal course of action with construction that's not done right.
I guess my question would be I see that there's two residents here. Are you satisfied with what's going on here? I mean, I don't, no, I just,
Mr.
you know, I mean, why isn't the bid bond turned in already? I mean, we're waiting for other things to happen before.
There was an amount that their engineer had submitted that the building department based a cost estimate on, and the applicant disagreed with the amount, so they worked with Bob back and forth, and Bob came up with a new amount that he's gonna go pay tomorrow. And once that bond gets paid, the building permits can be issued and they can start construction. Assuming you guys approve this document. If you guys don't approve this document, it's, you know,
And the only thing that isn't complete is the bid bond. Everything else is in place,
everything else is in place except for that bond, and then he can pull a permit.
and he's not working on things that are right now, right?
I don't believe you started construction. No, no.
You know, it's not these folks' fault that their land is 4 feet lower. Than when they first moved in, I'm probably sure it wasn't 4 feet lower. That's, all right, I'm done with that.
Okay, Mr. Pop. Ms. Webb?
Okay, through the chair, if I may, you know, I have concerns. Even if he does all of these things that was just presented to us, and you also said that the inspectors will be out there, they will put a work order on it. Okay, if he stops work on this project, the people are still going to be flooded out. And since this company has not made any effort to rectify or help those residents there. Are the drums still stacked up out there? Do you still have all this stuff out there? But you want to pay, get your bond, and you want to do all these things, but you haven't shown me that you are, I want to use the correct word, that you're really going to complete this work without any problems.
That's the bond, there's bonds and escrows that have been taken to assure that the work does get done.
So if they didn't fulfill the work, that we have the money in hand to
Go in and
fulfill
do
it for
it.
them.
Oh, thank you.
That's what the
Thank you,
bond's
Mayor.
for. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I should have been clear
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, because, hey, I'm wondering about, okay, if they stop work, who's going to
Right.
complete the work?
Their performance guarantees and escrows.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
I have another question. John, I'm not
Yes.
done.
Ms. Abdo?
Okay, just listening, reading the complaints here, we have a neighbor saying that one of the buildings is not supposed to be used and people are working out of it past dusk. You know, I'm reading, she's concerned about what's been going on. She understands the development takes time, but the flooding and the noise and the contents of the container is bothersome to her and the neighbors. She added that one of the buildings was not supposed to be worked out of, is being used, and they were not supposed to be working past dusk, and they have been.
I believe Bob is addressing that. So I apologize, I can't speak on his behalf, but I understand he's addressing that.
I don't feel comfortable voting for this unless we have all the pieces to it here, and we don't have Bob, and there just seems to be resident concerns here.
Any other comments? No more comments? Ms. Webb?
Through the chair, if there's no more comments, I'd like to make a motion that we table this item.
I'll support it.
Thank you.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Mr. Wadsworth for table this item.
Could I just ask for one clarification? You're tabling it to this September 24th meeting, the next meeting?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
No, but tabling, you can table it for a long period of time or to a specific date.
Well, for as long as it's gonna take all the parties involved to be here before council. So if they're gonna be here on the 24th, then to the 24th.
Okay,
And Mr. Chair, I just have to say, because of the past performance of this property, and that's why they're concerned. The past performance has not been good. So we don't want the lip service. It needs to be action. So I concur with we get Bob here and get some further questions. But your track history just hasn't met up to the standard as of right now. So we just need more discussion.
I understand that, however, if you're talking about the
Mr.
flood
Chairman, once we
issue,
table something, no more
No
discussion.
more
Oh, okay, okay.
If you're talking about the flood issue,
more
we have
discuss-
nothing to do with it. We
There's no more
bought it like
discussion.
this. I'm sorry.
Okay, there's no
Because
more
she asked
discussion,
me
we
and
just tabled it.
Okay,
No more
sorry about
discussion.
that.
Okay, no more discussion. It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, just to table this until the 28th, 24th. Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Barb. Tonight, we had a 7 o'clock meeting, open meeting, to discuss our SAFER grant. And it'll be explained more in detail later down the agenda. At this time, the chairperson doesn't have anything tonight. Let's conclude the chairperson's report.
Make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. Thank you.
5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Tonight I brought this quote came from former President George W. Bush right after the unfortunate 9/11 event, and it goes as this: "Time is passing, yet for the United States of America, there will be no forgetting September 11th. We will remember every rescuer who died in honor. We will remember every family that lives in grief. We will remember the fire of the ashes and the last phone calls and the funerals of those children." And just something to think about as we go into the anniversary tomorrow. We're still suffering today. There's still families. There's still people in the military, men and women, in all branches of the armed forces. And it's a sad day tomorrow. So when that time hits in the morning when the first tower was hit and then the second tower was hit, all I ask is you think about those families, take a quick moment of silence or say a prayer, and let's hope that some of the good that came with building our nation will come from that. There's always some good that does come from it, so that's all I ask tonight, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank our first responders for all they do, the police and fire that work. I listen to my radio and I hear the calls that come out. And some people sit in their lazy boy chair at home and watch the Lions game or whatever it may be, and they don't realize what's going on to run a city. They don't realize what's going on to run things at DPW, to run things here at City Hall, but to run into difficult situations that the police and fire have to deal with on a day in and out basis. So I just want to say I appreciate them and thank you. We have a video clip tonight, so we'll go ahead and run that with some events, and then I'll bring Tim up for a couple of comments.
Here are some events coming up. In remembrance of 9/11 and Patriots Day, flags will be at half-staff. We thank all of those who served and gave their lives, and to the military and first responders who continue to serve and protect the public today. There are only 3 more weeks to the farmers market for this season. It runs on Wednesdays and is located near the pavilion at the Historical Park downtown Romulus. Wednesday, September the 19th, there will be a town hall meeting at Barth School to discuss the police fire safety millage. The Romulus Police are looking for more people for the upcoming Citizens Academy class, which is scheduled to start Tuesday, September the 11th. Relay for Life Relapse will be held Tuesday, September the 11th at the RAC as they begin to wrap up their year, which comes up at the end of the month. There'll be a Gleaners free food distribution at the high school on Wednesday the 12th, beginning at 1 p.m. Friends of the Library will hold a book sale starting Thursday the 20th through Saturday the 22nd. 21st Annual Pumpkin Festival will kick off Friday the 21st of September with the Romulus Rotary's Parade of Lights. The parade will start at 8 p.m. on Goddard Road and go through downtown, ending at the Progressive Hall. The festival will run throughout the weekend with lots of entertainment, children's activities, food, and crafts. On Wednesday, the 26th, will be the annual Senior Center Health Fair. The event starts at 9:30 and runs until 2 p.m. There will be a citywide free yard sale starting Thursday the 27th through Sunday the 30th. To find out more about all of our community events, go to the locations noted on your screen. Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis. Thanks, Roger. Tim Keys, will you come up, please, and talk about our job fair? This is something that's going on that's new and different, and as we're trying to build community partners, and as the residents told us 5 years ago, they want economic growth and development, so this is another new thing that we're doing. Tim?
Good evening, Council. I'd like to make you aware of a job fair that the City of Romulus is hosting September 13th, which is this Thursday from 9 a.m. to noon. We have approximately 20 companies that will be participating in the job fair. There's also a number of resource agencies like the Talent Investment Agency, the Wayne Michigan Works, the Information Center, who will be there and assisting the potential employees with trying to get jobs. Also, at this event, we're going to have what's called an Amazon application assistance area off to the side. As I think we've talked about in the past, filling out an Amazon application has to be done online, and it's actually a very extensive process, can take up to an hour. So a number of these resource agencies will be there assisting with that process as well. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Just coming out and support it. It's a good event, and the businesses were tickled that we're trying to help host this, so
Yes.
thanks, Tim, for your efforts.
Ms. Talley had a question.
What kind of businesses? What are some, just a few?
To give you a
Just
few of
curious.
them. Actia Corporation, which is a new company coming into Romulus. It's a circuit board manufacturer. Aerostar Manufacturing, Aztec Manufacturing, Detroit Thermal Systems, Environmental Testing and Consulting, Medline, Michigan Pneumatic, Morris Moving, Public Service Credit Union, our Romulus Fire Department, Romulus Police Department, Waste Management.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Williams?
Where would this be located?
This is over at the Athletic Center, over in the Sears Room.
That was my
It,
question.
it should be noted, this is hopefully the first of many to come over the next couple of years.
Okay.
It's one of the things that the mayor and I, when we're knocking on doors, talking to business, as he had said, seems to be the #1 issue with all companies in Romulus. They're short-staffed.
We're looking for employees. Yep. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
Wait.
I have a couple of action items on my report I'd like to get into. First up is item number A. This is a recommendation from Kathy Ritter, Assistant DPW Director and Legal Counsel, and this is to concur with administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached one-year contract with Midwest Recycling, which will allow up to 5 additional one-year terms upon the mutual agreement between the City of Romulus and Midwest Recycling.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we enter into an agreement with Midwest Recycling.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, just to enter a contract with Midwest Recycling. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. The next request comes from Tim Keys, Economic Development Director, and this is to concur with administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached agreement for landscaping design services. This is for the Vining Road median between Ecorse and Smith for a cost not to exceed $16,700 plus reimbursable expenses of $350. These funds have been verified and available out of the Vining Ecorse Project Cost Fund.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for the Smith Group Landscaping Design Services for Vining Road.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by, by Ms. Talley, for Smith Group Landscape Design Service for Vining Road. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Will this, you're saying it's $16,700 that will cover the pallets of plants that are urban and salt tolerant? Is this something that the city have to do at this time? Or is it something that the city can wait to see what type of construction is coming to Smith and Viney?
This is to finish the project and landscape it basically, Tim, and the
This is-
funding came
yes,
through that.
This is the landscape, so it's the design for the landscaping irrigation system for the median for Vining Road.
So this is to actually put the plants there. It's not, we're not paying them just for the design.
No, this is for just the design.
This is just for them to design it?
These will be construction grade documents and will be used for bidding out the project itself, for someone to come in and actually bid on putting the plants in place.
And with them coming in to bid to put the plants in place, does that include the 16,000?
No, the 16,000 is
Design.
just for design.
Just for the design?
Yep.
You know, any other comments?
I just have one question, comment. After reading about the Smith Group, the warranty on the landscape should last 2 years?
That's what we will be asking for, yes.
Yes, okay. I like that, because, me and Merriman Road and the landscaping. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no more other comments, roll call. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next action item is a recommendation from Carol Mays, our planner, Kevin Lozen, Human Resource Director and Legal Counsel, and also our Teamster representatives. This is to concur the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached recording secretary service contract with Cheryl McGuire to perform recording secretary duties. This will be for Planning Commission and Board of Zoning Appeals, and the funds have been verified and available for this expenditure.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
That's the wrong.
This is 5D.
Oh, I pulled one too. I jumped down to D, so we're doing D first.
I seen smart.
Yeah.
Well, we can do this one now.
We can do this one now.
We can do this one now. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we doing which one?
This is for the independent recording secretary, D.
D, okay. It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth. And second.
I'll second.
And second by Ms. Roscoe. This for the Independent Recording Secretary Services Contract Planning Department. In discussion.
Through the chair. Yes. We can't do this because nothing was stated on this. Just, okay, we'll go ahead and do 5D. What are we doing on 5D?
Hiring a recording.
We had,
Hiring a recording secretary, but then he had brought up 5C.
Mr. Chairman, I'll take the motion back and let's
That's
move on,
fine.
Mayor.
If he wants to withdraw the motion, we'll
the
go back
next
to
one.
C. Mr. Chairman, is that motion withdrawn now?
Yes, it is.
withdrawn.
So 5C, under Mayor's report, you have a recommendation from Rose Sedan, Senior Service Director and Legal Counsel. This is to concur with administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached group TAM plans for the Smart Subrecipient Agreement as listed. And that's a pretty thick document that was attached to it.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for 5C, the Smart Transportation Agreement for Senior Services.
Support.
Okay, motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb. Authorization to enter into the Smart Transportation Agreement for Senior Services. Discussion?
I do,
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Ms. Townsend.
This is kind of related, unrelated to this. I read this document. I love this document. People might think I'm crazy for liking reading this, but this is a very good template. When we were going through the budget process, one of the things I think I asked a couple people was, do we have an asset management system in place? And I think we're working on one and kind of hashing it out, but I thought this was a very good template to kind of get in place to kind of use for internally.
Sure.
So just wanted to make that quick note, but yeah, I'm good with this. This was an awesome document, so.
Thank you. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council, and I apologize for the order on it. It was stuck to the prior page. Now we're on D. This is the item that I read earlier. So this is a recommendation, came from Carol Mays, our planner, Kevin Lozen, Human Resource, Legal Counsel, and the Teamster representatives were involved in it. And this is to concur with the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached recording secretary service contract with Cheryl McGuire to perform recording secretary duties, and that would be for the Planning Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals. And those funds are available.
So moved. I'd like to make, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to concur with administration and authorize the mayor clerk to enter into the attached recording secretary services contract with Cheryl McGuire to perform recording secretary duties for the planning commission and the board of zoning appeals.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Roscoe, this for the independent recording secretary services contract for the planning department. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
My first question, has this been put out to bid, or is this just given to someone we know, or?
Yeah, this was an agreement, a professional service agreement that was agreed upon with the Teamsters. And I don't know, Carol, were you, basically the purpose of what we're doing here is a cost savings, and also it's a timeliness issue and a legal issue. So we basically, by bringing a person in that can do it on time, legally, the union agreed to it as well too. We have requirements by law that we have to meet with those, particularly those two boards. So, you know, it's a personal service agreement is what we're entering into. So therefore, you know,
Didn't go out to
Steve
bid then,
would
so-
require it,
It isn't required to go out to bid?
not for personal
Okay.
service.
Thank you.
You done?
I'm done.
Ms. Williams, you had anything?
You do it.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't said anything yet. He hasn't recognized me.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You had something to say.
Yeah, I didn't hear ask for the chair. Ms. Webb?
I guess my only question is, what's next? Will the clerk's office decide that Barb can't do the minutes on a timely basis? Will DPW secretaries, the assessor's office, if we have an employee who has been doing this and hired to do it, why do we need to go outside of the city and spend money for a service, a recording secretary service? This is just like, I mean, we have employees who are, well, let me ask this question. Who's doing, I don't know if it's legal for you to give me, you don't even have to give me the name. Do we have a secretary that's doing this now?
We have a person that's responsible that's supposedly doing this. We have a lot of work that's going on, and so we're way behind, and we have requirements that we need to stay up on for those minutes. So I don't want to get into an employee performance issue or anything.
Right,
This is
why.
to handle the workload and all the activity that's going on in the planning department. So we're not looking to do this in any other area, Councilwoman. This is basically to allow us to be efficient, as you hear some of the developers come up and tell us that we're doing a good job working with them.
And I understand the efficiency is needed and is required because there are things going on. But I just can't see, you know, we just keep spending money, bringing these contractors and different people into the city when we have employees that I personally feel are experienced enough to handle this because this is their job.
I don't doubt experienced enough. This is actually a cost savings.
So well,
How is it a cost savings?
we'll talk about this at a later date. I will, you and I.
I had similar questions pertaining to that. Why would, to me, it's too much like outsourcing. You know, and I just feel that we should be able to find someone else, even if it was several hours that they work with the individual that's doing it now that may be falling behind, could help to assist versus taking it outside of the city. I'm done.
Just a quick comment.
Mr.
I'm not a real great fan of outsourcing, but as long as the Teamsters isn't.
They were involved
step
in
with
this,
it,
yes.
I have no problem with this.
Ms. Talley?
And yeah, and just, I know what it's like to be a secretary, and it ain't nothing to even touch what this secretary has to do as far as making sure these minutes are prepared within 8 days of the meeting. And then the other thing too, like we have the development here in the city has just increased, I'm sure. And then it is a cost savings from what is outlined here because we're paying overtime. to make sure that these, and it's still a hard time trying to hit these parameters, even with the overtime. So I concur with the administration. I know what it is to be a secretary and trying to keep up. The stuff I'm on, I'm behind on my minutes. So I'm just saying, I get it, Carol, I get it. And we have to stay in compliance. We have to stay in compliance. So thank you.
And I'd like to say that I was glad that the Teamsters involved and also cost savings. So those two things alone is important.
We work with Teamsters, HR, we talked a lot about it to come up with this solve, and everybody was on board that it's the best, solve to keep us compliant with the law.
Any other comments from council?
Yes, I
Ms. Abdo?
It says in this issue that you have this Teamsters are reserving the right to revisit this issue.
Yeah.
Is there a timeline or?
Well, we have a requirement that we have to, meet for the minutes, so if we're moving forward and this isn't working, we're gonna relook and come up with a solve. We have to by law. So my intent is to be compliant with the law.
Thank you, John.
Oh, you're welcome, Ms. Abdo. Any other comments? No other comments? Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
No.
Ms. Williams?
No?
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item is the item that was amended in the agenda earlier, so that's gonna be called 5E. And what you have before you is a recommendation to with Kevin Kraus, Director of Fire Services and Emergency Management. And this is to concur with the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached FEMA staffing, adequate fire emergency response safer grant for fiscal year 2017. The amount is $1,347,000 for an additional 5 full-time firefighters for the Romulus Fire Department. The city's contribution match in the amount will be $514,625. And that'll be in increments over 3-year periods of the grant.
And Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we accept the FEMA grant and the SAVER grant for the year FY 2017.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for acceptance of the FEMA staffing for adequate fire grants safer fiscal year 2017. Discussion.
Yeah, I just
My
want-
discussion.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr.
Yeah, I just want to say, anytime that, I think first of all, our fire, did a great job. And when you can, get additional fire people, to the city, because I think the, fire department is doing a great job, and by getting additional help with this grant, I think it's a great thing for the city of Romulus. And I support this wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and I guess I just wanted to say, we're continuing to bring grants and opportunities. We've said that all along. We're gonna keep looking for grants and opportunities. We have a grant writer, that's helping us with that. We wanna do the best we can to sustain and enhance wherever we can the services. What we're looking at doing with this is, a couple things, allowing us to show our commitment to fire service. It's also showing that Romulus is a stable place, to attract new talent and to retain talent, which is very important. Our ability to do additional transport and the revenue that comes from that will also offset some of those costs. So it's good all the way around, but it's still very important and crucial, the ballot proposal that we have in November. So if you haven't gotten that information, please come out to a town hall meeting, seek it out. We'd love to talk more in detail about how important both fire and police services are.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
6A is the clerk's report. 6A1, REOC 2018-034, Abernathy and Pickles, requesting approval for use of public right-of-way at 37129 Goddard Road.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion. So move for use of public right-of-way for Abernathy and Pickles.
for the use of public highway right-of-way at 37-129 Garter Road. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A2 is a study session request from Mayor Burcroft to schedule a half-hour study session on Monday, September 24th, 2018, at 5:45 PM to discuss the City of Romulus purchasing ordinance.
Chair, I'll make that motion for a study session requested from Mayor Burcroft to schedule a half-hour study session on Monday, September 24th, 2018, at 5:45 PM to discuss the City of Romulus's purchasing ordinance.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo. This is for that study session. Request from Mayor Leroy Burcroft to schedule a half an hour study session on Monday, September the 24th, 2018 at 5:45 to discuss the City of Romulus purchasing ordinance. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A3 is Property Disposition Committee is requesting City Council approval for the sale of parcel 80.042.01.0032.300 vacant residential land located on Colbert, and this would be sold to Jeffrey D. Laurie for $1,000.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for the approval of the sale of parcel 80.042.01.0032.300, the vacant residential lot on Colbert.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, and this for the approval of the partial 80.042.01.0032.300, and that's for the vacant residence land located on Colbert to Jefferson D. Laurie for $1,000. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And 6B is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, deputy clerk, and audience. I have a few items under my report tonight. Last week, I did mention that the rack was closed for the week. They had some housekeeping. Went there today. They did a great job. They worked really hard, cleaned up the place, the floors, and it was really nice. So I want to thank all those employees for their hard work. Also, normally taxes are due on September 30th. That falls on a Sunday this year. Therefore, taxes are due on Monday, October the 1st. Again, you can mail your tax payment. You can visit us at the treasurer's office. You can drop it in the drop box. There's ACH, there's e-check. You can use credit card, lots of options to make your tax payment. Also, last week I talked about some changes with our drop box, and I just wanted to touch base on that again. There were some people at home that were really thankful that I shared that information with them, especially with taxes due October 1st. We're gonna get more and more people here at City Hall to pay their tax payments. Of course, with the construction, the drop box at the curbside is down temporarily, but there is another drop box right at the entrance of City Hall. And we did update the signs. There's one on the inside as well as the outside to make it nice and clear and visible so people, when they walk up, it's kind of in their face. Also, Jessica was so nice to put an announcement on the website right at the top banner, letting people know that drop box at the curbside is temporarily down, to please use the one up at the door. So if anybody's got any questions with that, please let me know, and as soon as we know when that one at the curbside will be back up, I will get that information out. It is just temporary, and I just want to apologize for the inconvenience. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to call my office, and I would be happy to help you. Thank you.
Yeah, Madam Treasurer, I had a question asked to me. I told him I would ask you. about the taxes that's being paid at the rec center. Do you have to live in Romulus?
So those aren't for Romulus taxes, those are delinquent
Yeah, that's what I mean.
for Detroit.
Yeah, but
So
say.
you can live anywhere.
Okay, in Wayne
and
County.
If they're due to Wayne County,
Right.
then yes, you can pay them there,
Oh, okay.
as well as your DTE bill.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Trish.
You're welcome.
7 is public comment. Individuals who would like to address city council must raise their hand and when recognized by the chair, approach the podium and state their name and address. Remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes, subject to being extended an additional 3 minutes by consent of the chairperson. There shall be no personal attacks, and remarks shall not contain any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexual, or national origin slurs or overtones. This public meeting shall not be used to campaign for elected office and may not be used to support or oppose any candidate or ballot proposals. Anyone not adhering to these rules shall lose their right to address city council. A response to any questions and/or concerns will be provided under agenda item number 8, unfinished business, only if the information is available. Otherwise, responses that require further investigation will be given at a later date. And we do not have any written requests this evening.
Any comments from the audience? No comments from the audience? Comments closed.
Number 8 is unfinished business.
Mr. Barton,
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
if I could, and to the mayor, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, there were some people here from the Gateway subdivision that came here and expressed their concern about vehicles that were being parked for a long, extended time. I'm not gonna mention their names, but I'm gonna give you some documents that our PD could get in touch with them and look at the
Sure.
situation.
I know our PD was working on it, so we'll pass that on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 9 is new, you're all set. Number 9 is new business. 10, communication.
Yes, Ms. Williams.
Yes, I would just like the mayor to inform the council through the chair of, do you have an approximate date that the parking lot will be finished?
No, I don't. They're working on it. The initial plan was, 3 to 4 weeks. They were not there today doing work because of the rain. I was told they're gonna be there first thing in the morning, so I just hate giving dates out because it changes exactly with today, which is weather, so I would just say be patient. We're trying to keep signage up. It's an inconvenience. It really is for employees, for customers that come here, for everybody. So, we'll try to expedite as soon as possible, but I don't have an exact date.
So, and I'm sorry to say a date, but I just meant like an estimate time. Because,
Yeah, the
you know,
initial time frame was 3 to 4 weeks, but, we've had a couple weather setbacks already, so it's still within that time frame. But, weather permitting, weather could happen and we could be delayed again, so, thank you.
You're welcome, Ms. Williams. Yes, Ms. Talley.
I just want to share some good news. I like hearing good news, and I also like sharing good news. So I want to share this that we received from Patricia Brayton from our library. She was highlighted in the Eagle. At your service, Romulus Library seeks to provide resident needs. If anybody has not been to our library, I implore you to go visit our library. It is a gym. Patty has done a great job over there. She should be commended for all the things she's trying to do, continually moving our library forward. She is highlighted in the Eagle, so we do ask if you see a copy somewhere, pick it up and read about what's going on at our library. There's a lot of good things going on over there. And just adding that on top of all the good news that's been going on today with the SAFER grant. Thank you, Kevin, for that. Just good stuff. And I would be remiss to say that stuff is going on in the city of Romulus. I'm gonna tell you, because we get these big, thick packages of information, so you know it's work being done. I mean, this thing is thick. I just had to say that, man, I'm sorry. So work is being done. So I just wanna add that in there. There's a lot of good things going on in our city, always moving, coming up with more ways to do things more efficiently, get things moving forward so that we're being progressive. So I want to thank the city for all that they're doing to keep our city moving forward. Still got things we need to address, of course, but while we're moving forward, we'll address those in the meantime as well. And the last thing I want to, Oh, and I also want to shout out about that job fair too. That was a great thing. That's a good thing to hear as well. Good news. And then lastly, the not so good news is that I spoke last week about Reverend Terry Edwards from First Baptist Church. His funeral services is tomorrow at First Baptist Church, starting at 10 a.m. for the family hour, 11 a.m. for the actual funeral. They are asking if anyone, I'm asking our colleagues, any electors, if you want to provide a dessert to First Baptist, they are accepting desserts over there for the repast. So if you want to, let me know, and I can facilitate that for the repast tomorrow. And outside of that, I just want to say great job to the city of Romulus.
Thank you, Ms. Talley.
Number 11 is warrant 18-17.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we pay warrant 18-17 in the following amounts. General Fund, $113,954.90. Major Street Fund, $4,287.56. Local Street Fund, $7,479.03. Cemetery Fund, $286.07. Cable TV, $43.81. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $170. Oakwood SAD, $731.59. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $526.90. Library Fund, $24,839.17. DDA, $34,202.17. Tifa District 2, $915.99. Beverly Road Special Assessment District, $88,160. 2014 Capital Improvement Bonds, $24,225. Vining Road Extension E-Course Construction, $51,250.67. Water and Sewer Fund, $526,921.08. Motor Vehicle, $20,668.60. Technology Services, $8,757.21. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $168,120.61. Revolving Fund, $23,758.25. Current tax, $1,185.86. Payroll Fund, $155,770.46. Total of all funds, $1,256,254.93.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 18-17 for $1,256,254.93. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Warrant number 18-17 will be paid.
Number 12 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.